Okay, now that we have scored the bottles, which I forgot to mention prior to this, is you do want to make sure that you have removed the label away from the score line. Otherwise, when you're scoring, the score is not going to go through the paper properly and you're not going to get a nice clean score line. Important to try and keep your score lines as straight as possible, but if they do not come together, like this one right here, always, when you see what I do later, always put this part of the bottle upwards in the water first, so that, and actually, I'm sorry, this is how I place it in. I always put the opening in first to trap heat inside, and then apply it in here. This way, the crack starts from the bottom and comes towards the two ends that are not matching, which gives you a better chance of a nice clean break versus if you didn't do that. So I am going to show a video of me using just a heat gun and room temperature water in a bucket. No ice, no acetone, no strings, no fire, just a plain old heat gun and room temperature water. I found that it's best to put the temperature, I got one that has a temperature gauge. This is Cobalt, which I got from Lowe's, at 1,000. You don't want to put it up too high, because then you'll find that the cracks will go downwards instead of around like you want it to. So there is such a thing as too much heat and too much of a shock to the bottle. I have it at the highest fan speed, and I put it, there's like two settings on here, I put it at the top. Those are the optimum settings and the optimum setups that I've found. You can see I've already done a bunch of bottles. You will not always get a perfect cut, but it is pretty close, as you can see. And then later, obviously, we're going to be sanding and smoothing out the bottles. There are some pieces, let's see if I can find one, that it didn't break properly. And I will show you how to remove that. I have the cheap way and the more expensive way, which I've gone to with a lapidary and a stained glass tile cutter or glass cutter, and I use a Dremel. So here we go.